What's going on, everyone? Yes, today is another toy review, and yes, the Android that stands in front of you is the Android that goes by the name of Red Mist. Now, his name is a little bit longer than that, but unfortunately I cannot remember it. I just know it starts with an S. So I'm just going to go with the short part of his name, which is Red Mist. So this figure here is loosely based upon a manga called Biomega. Now, Biomega is a sci-fi manga that has all of these androids, and they're trying to pretty much fix their world. Their world just went to shit, and they're trying to find humans that actually can survive in this particular situation. As for the book itself, it's not good, I won't lie. Story is pretty stupid, but the designs on it is really nice. It looks really cool, and it's different. Now, this toy is made by 1,000 Toys. Now, 1,000 Toys have came out with several synthetic humans that's loosely based upon Biomega. Now, out of all of these designs has either been shown or been released, only 2 of them is actually directly from the book or close as possible to the characters in the book. One is the main character, which is supposed to come out I think later this year, but he has came up for pre-order and was sold out pretty fast. And then they have another one that hasn't came out yet, which is like this old samurai looking dude, and that character is also in the book. As for everything else, no. The outfit that this particular character is wearing somewhat resembles one of the characters or some of the characters inside Biomega, which they wear these weird aprons. Don't know why, but that's what they're rocking. Other than that, like I said, they're just pretty much 1,000 Toys designs. Or at least that's what I think. I could be wrong, but I know for a fact they're not in the book. Now, moving on. This figure here is a 1/6 scale figure. This figure stands roughly about 11.5 inches. He's not quite 12 inches tall because I already measured him, and he's kind of short. Other than that, it's a great looking figure, and it's an amazing articulation. So let's go ahead and jump into this figure and see what it has to offer. So first and foremost, let's look at a full 360 of good old Red Mist. Now, as you can see, it's pretty basic, nothing too major, but it's a really cool design. This particular character comes from a unit called Anti Carb. Now, what is listed as, I think, is TOH or THO. I can't remember exactly the abbreviation, but that's the same unit that the main character from the story team is from. So I'm guessing these are technically good guys. I could be wrong, but I think that's what they are. This Anti-Carb unit, I guess, destroy all the bad mechs or affected mechs or whatever. Now, the thing is, what's kind of funny is that they're like loosely based upon something from 80s childhood, and the thing they're loosely based upon is Ninja Turtles. If you notice, you can see red stripes, or red lining rather, on his legs. That is the only thing that kind of tells you which robot is which out of the 4 robots that's in the Anti-Carb unit, and their weapons. So the reason why I said it like Ninja Turtles is because since he's red, he actually comes with a sai. They have another one that is blue that comes with a katana, and then they have one that's yellow that comes with nunchucks, and then they have one that's green that comes with like a machete. So the only difference is the one with the nunchucks color is slightly different, and the one that comes with the machete clearly does not have a bow, and he is clearly not purple. So that is the only real difference between the actual variations between these 2 groups of people from Ninja Turtles versus the Anti-Carb. So that's just a little quick thing that you will notice when you actually check these out if you decide to. So that is your once over. Now, as for accessories, He comes with quite a bit. He's actually going to have 4 set of hands. Going to have a right and left. And let's go ahead and try to push him out of the way 1 second. And let's look at these hand designs. So, let me zoom back. There we go. Alright, so this hand is pretty much the gripping hand for his weapon. It's a nice firm grip. This is hard plastic, so be careful if you decide to end up picking one of these up. The weapon can be a bastard to actually get into the hand, but it's not hard. I would say you can put some heat to it and soften up a bit, or just be careful so you won't break it. So you get that tight gripping hand. You're going to get a trigger finger hand, or a loose grip hand. So it can serve as 2 purposes, either to hold a firearm style weapon or actually hold the weapon a little bit more loose. Alright, so I know it can hold a firearm because I actually used some leftover 1/6 scale guns I had from other toys, and I was able to fit the weapon directly into the hand with no problem. So you can use that hand to actually do that. You're going to get a relax hand, which is like this. Nicely designed, looks really well. And then you're going to get a ball fist hand, which is like that. Okay, now if you've seen the synthetic human figure that came out a while back, which is now on eBay for a ridiculous amount of money, the thing can go from $1,000 plus. Every now and then you might catch somebody that's generous enough to release it, or release theirs or sell theirs for like $500. Well, the good news is, if you missed out on them and you did not catch it when it first was announced or released back in the day, they will be having another chance to letting you get that particular figure. It will be on the 26th of this month. So pretty much, if you decide you want one, it's going to be, I think they cost about $150. So if you want one, definitely try to shoot to get one. I'm probably going to try to grab one myself just because I do want one. It's a very, very, very small difference between this and that. Personally, the only downside that this figure does not have that original figure came with was his shin from his knee down to his feet is different. The synthetic human release actually had human style feet, which gave him better balance and just a little bit more sturdy. These feet, that is the only downside to this entire figure, that the feet suck. And I'll tell you exactly why, so it's not like I'm just being cruel, and I'll show you exactly what's the problem. But let me get back to the figure so I won't get sidetracked. Thing is, the other accessories outside of the hands you're going to receive, you're going to get a sai, which is pretty much a solid black with little gray highlights, which looks amazing. So that's his side that you're going to get 2 of those, one for the right and left hand. You're going to get this creepy ass face, which also looks amazing, looks really good. It's like the stone texture, these bright dirty yellow teeth, and these old pitch black eyes. Alright, so you're going to get that, and that snaps on his head really, really tight and firm, and I'll show you how to put that on and remove it. So you're going to get that. And then you're going to get this weird helmet, which you cannot have both masks equipped at the same time. You have to do one or the other. You get this weird helmet here, which has a few little moving parts. Real small, but, you know, nice little touch on there. This can actually lift, like so, and it'll reveal an eye. And this can come off. There's nothing hard to put on, or it's not broken or anything like that, you know. It just snaps in 2 little holes that sit on the side of the helmet itself. So you're going to get that. And then the other accessory that you technically will be getting, which will be attached to him off the back, will be his chest piece. So the little chest piece that you see, you put the helmet on, and that little nozzle that you've seen that's sticking from the helmet goes directly into the side of that. Alright, so that is all of the accessories that Red Mist receives. Now, as for articulation, let me go ahead and show you as much as possible without having to actually take his outfit off. I'll show photos at the end of the video to kind of let you see, because I don't feel like working all of his clothes in the middle of a review. So I'll show you that at the end. As for articulation though, hands down, best articulation I've ever had out of any 1/6 scale figure or any small figure. This thing is amazing. When it comes down to it, his head here, several things that's going on. So first of all, you can open his mouth like so. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and zoom up a bit so y'all can actually see. Alright, so you can open his mouth, you can close his mouth. His eyes are movable, so you can actually split the skull where you see this little seam line here. You pull the face apart like so, and it just leaves you with a jaw, and that's it. And inside that face is little red eye sockets with the actual little notches on it that allow you to move it. So that works really, really well. And if you also look, you can see the notches inside the head itself, so you can put it together. And it goes together really, really easy. It's not hard. You don't got to fight with it. You just got to put the front part on first and then put the back part on second. Like so. And his head is put back together. Now, this head is on a double ball joint, or that part that was holding his jaw, it's a ball joint attached to that, but it works really, really well. So you can look about that far down. You can look up about that far, which is completely up. And this is definitely showing you the quality of what you can get out of this figure. So you got that going on. Now going down to the neck itself is a double ball joint that goes into the neck, which goes into the chest, which also just helps with quality. Okay. Also, he can tilt his head damn near all the way over. Really, really nicely done. And that goes for both sides. Nothing is hindering. Good old red mist. Alright. Now, as for the body, it's going to be one added thing that this figure has that most 1/6 scales don't have. But his body design will be close. I would say the closest will be to a Metacom body. Reason I say that, so just to give you a quick example, if you look at this body, this is like most 1/6 scale body, the shoulder area, right? So the shoulder area has a more wider cut in it, well, has a more thinner cut rather, and it allows that shoulder to actually have a lot more better motion rocking forward. So if you look at this, you can get about that far rocking forward. Looking at this one, you can come in quite a bit. Close them shoulders pretty close to his chest, which you can see right there. And I'll turn him on an angle just to kind of give you an idea. So his range is really nice. He has a swivel, and his arm is on a hinge, so his arm can go completely out like these. Alright. He has a swivel at the bicep, so he can turn right here. He can do a full bend. It's double hinge elbows, and then he has a swivel on a peg wrist. All right, and that can either spin at the fist or spin in the forearm itself. Now, what makes him also different, coming down to the midsection, most 1/6 scale, let me go ahead and focus this for y'all, sorry about that. 1/6 scale figures are normally articulated in the solar plex and in the waistline. He actually has 3 instead of 2, which works a whole lot, really, really well. And also even in the waist, huge range of motion. So with the Metacom normally has like just a swivel waist, and then your standard 1/6 scale bodies normally have a ball joint waist, which gives you a little bit more range. Well, the thing is, without even bending the legs, he get about that far forward. Let me go ahead and zoom out so y'all can see better. Alright. Get about that far forward. Going back, He can reach that far back without bending his legs. Really great range of motion. Going to the side, he get about that much. Like I said, no toy I've owned touch the quality of this figure. Alright, and just to kind of give you a quick peek so you can kind of see what's going on up under here, and you can kind of see the joints itself. So there is the joint. So that's the chest joint, stomach joint, then your waist joint. So you got a nice amount of range going down. Alright, now going, and he can't swivel. Also, his torso area does not have no type of restrictions whatsoever. And what I do mean by that, you can actually turn this figure full 360 around any part of his waist. So you can actually make him spider walk. If you pull up any images on the internet, you'll probably see a few people have done that already. So this figure is extremely posable. Now going down to his legs, they're on your standard ball joint 1/6, but he does have a very wide range. And the reason why I also said he's closer to a Metacom, because Metacoms normally kind of give you that better range of motion in the legs than your standard Hot Toys body, things of that nature. So this actually has a huge range going out to the sides. He can practically do the splits. Alright, and he has a swivel right at the thigh, which can turn, right, like in the pelvis area. He does have double jointed knees, which is amazing. Touches the actual back part of the thigh. Most 1/6 scale figures can't do that. They get close, but nowhere near this close. Alright, now going down to his foot. His foot is on a unique design. I'll show you how this works. Go ahead and zoom up a bit. So this is what makes his foot, in my personal opinion, just amazing. So here, there's normally ball joints on most toys, on most 1/6 scale. He actually has a hinge, right? Or a swivel, however you want to call it. I'll say a hinge, rather. Now this hinge is on a peg, just like so. His foot gets very complex and very nicely done. So if you look at this foot here, it has a joint in the back. Then this is the part that holds it onto the leg itself. And then there's a joint in the front. Then it has toe joints and a third toe. So the way this works, let's say if you're doing a wide stance with him, you can actually turn the heel independently on his own. Okay, then you can turn the actual front part of the foot to match the heel, which can give him a wide stance, really wide stance. And then his toes clearly can do that right there, pretty far up. And then his third toe can actually come out. It's like a blade, but I say the third toe because it actually will help you stand him up. So this actually does help. Now this is what I mean by terrible foot, though, further as like the sturdiness of it. Let me go ahead and bring it down a bit so I can show you. This is the only thing that prevents me from actually liking this foot design. Does it take away from the toy? No, I will still say buy the toy with Godspeed. Like this figure is amazing, but this is the design that's terrible. One, it gets very loose. Okay, so it gets pretty loose, but the biggest problem is they did I guess a bad calculation on where the pin should end at on the foot. And the problem is that you can do just like this. I can actually wiggle that down and take the toe off. So the problem with this situation is that this toe can end up coming off if you're not paying attention. If it falls off and you lose it, now you got a incomplete toy. So that's one of the things I don't like about this figure. These toes get extremely loose. So that's my real gripe. If I had to make any type of gripe about this toy, it's just that foot design. Like this two-toe foot design is pretty crappy. But other than that, the figure itself is phenomenal. I can honestly say he is definitely in my top top 5 or top 3 shit. He's up there. He might be my favorite, to be honest with you. But that is Red Mist Anti Carb by Omega 1000 toy made figure. So if you like what you see, I would say definitely pick this figure up. This figure is phenomenal. One last thing before I go. As for putting on his mask, I've seen some people that actually was pissed because it was very hard to get the mask off. So there's an easy way to actually take care of the mask situation. So let me go ahead and show you something before I leave. Is that you take the mask, if you look down here, zoom up real quick so you can see. Alright, so you see this little hole that sits at the bottom of his chin? That is for the bottom hole of the mask. Then he has a hole on top of his head, which is for the top of the mask. Now, best thing to always do is slide the chin on first. So put the chin on and then just slide the mask back. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick because I don't feel like trying to show every little baby step, because I'm pretty sure y'all can put together a mask on y'all figure. Let me see. Alright. So the mask is on. Right? And what I was saying before is pretty damn sturdy. It's not going nowhere. It's locked in. Now, a lot of people was going through issues trying to remove the mask off the head. The best way to do that is, instead of actually trying to pull off this mask off his face, just take the damn head apart. So you take the head apart and pull off the face part, like so. Like, just pull forward and you take it off. If you notice, you can pull apart his jaw, and then now you just have his head sitting there, so you can just literally push down on the head part. And then, there you go. You can move the face. Pretty damn easy. So, that would be the only thing I would say you might have a gripe with, but it's not that major. It can easily be done. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed the review. I'm sorry I've been taking so long to put out reviews. I haven't actually had a bunch of new stuff I want to review. I've picked up new things, but just didn't really feel like reviewing it. But other than that, I do have a few toys coming in, so I should have some new stuff popping up soon, hopefully. But I will put a list on what I have, and if you want to hear my opinion of what I think about it, I will happily do a review on it. Other than that, y'all continue to collect and shits, and y'all have a great day. Take care.